Another anniversary is coming up later this year. In August, it will be 5 years since the events in Ferguson. In January, the Black Repertory Company premiered a play that examines the events that are familiar and painful to those who live in this community. Ruth Ezell went to see the play and to meet the rather unlikely duo of playwrights who created it.
Welcome back to Battleground. We're here in Ferguson, Missouri, where several people are saying that the police response is making things worse following the death of an unarmed teenager.
Canfield Drive is not the first play to deal with the Michael Brown shooting and the subsequent protest in Ferguson.
I'm Mike Brown's uncle.
Nor is it the first play about Ferguson in which the dialogue is largely based on interviews with people who are there. But it is the first such production set to move from a stage in St. Louis to New York. The play's co-authors are longtime friends, Kristen Adele Calhoun of Denver, Colorado, and Michael Thomas Walker of Birmingham, Alabama.
There was a group of directors and actors and friends who would get together once a week and read a play out loud. And on August 9th, we had a meeting and we read a play. And as we finished the play, we looked at our social media and saw that Mike had been shot and tuned into the national media to see what was going on. And what we saw on social media did not match what was happening in the national narrative. And for me, it became a moment when I realized I needed to stop reading plays and needed to start writing one.
People ask us a lot, why did you care about the story? You're not from here. What caused you to do this? Why are you so invested? But it felt like a story, a very American story.
And there had also been an accumulation of police brutality and violence and killing of black men in America. Eric Garner had just died that summer, Trayvon Martin. I mean, the list goes on, and it was a breaking point. It felt like we have to stop this. We have to shed light on this.
Michael Brown was unarmed, and yet he was shot 6 times by the officer, only 2 minutes after the officer arrived on the scene.
Kristen Calhoun is also in the cast of Canfield Drive, playing several characters, most notably a reporter covering Ferguson.
The play begins on August 10th, 2014, so the day after Mike Brown is killed. And there are these 2 news reporters who are thrown into the story on the streets of Ferguson and are told that they have to cover it.
As you can plainly see from the security video, Mike Brown is a thug and a thief. Here, he pushes the store owner and takes the cigarillos without paying.
Directly after sharing this obvious character attack of the video, Ferguson PD finally released the name of the officer.
They have very opposing points of view, and the show that they're on is called Battleground. And the premise of the television show within the play is that you hear from these opposing political standpoints about what it is that they're witnessing. So they begin interviewing people in the community, which is part of what Michael and I's process was interviewing folks as we traveled many times back and forth to St. Louis. So a lot of those interviews show up in the play as verbatim text from people that we heard from.
This place was built on the graves of Native people. They took down mounds to put up St. Louis City, and it was built on some bad things. So it's easy to attract that negative if you build a foundation on graves.
And you see Brad and Imani have tough conversations. I actually think, having watched the show a lot, they talk at each other at the beginning, and through the process of the play, they begin actually then speaking with each other or talking to each other about history, about how how does context shape events? What is it like to be black in America? How do you have a tough conversation about race? They begin to evolve their relationship, and the conversation evolves as well.
Almost every house had an I Heart Ferguson sign.
Canfield Drive was co-commissioned by the Black Rep and by the nonprofit group 651 Arts in Brooklyn, New York. 651 Arts will stage it as well. Talks are also underway for the play to go to the National Black Theater Festival in Winston-Salem, North Carolina.
I don't think that we set out to try and provide any answers, but our goal in writing this play was to provide a platform so that conversations could continue, and to also provide the possibility, like to show the audience, here's how you can move forward, here's how you can engage in conversation in a civil way about difficult subjects. And I think the play does that.